good wahoo caught as well. So wahoo, dolphin fish, marlin, lots of skipjack tuna.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some of those? Yeah. Yes, lots of
Too
skipjack.
many.
Too many, yeah. They are not too bad for sashimi. They get a bleed them from Australia.
Oh yeah,
also.
yeah. And I actually cured some as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. The jerky sort of style.
Burns the flesh right up. and-
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sugar, salt, pepper, bit of vodka.
Very good. So, do you all know what skipjack tuna looks like? So, the ones that squiggle on top, mac tuna, pet food,
Blech.
really good crap up bait. Eat them if you want to try it. Skipjacks look like the two big black lines down the side of it, and they go hard, and they're normally around that sort of 3 to about 7 kilo. I don't know what size your guys were, but around that sort of size.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really good fun to catch as well, and they're great to eat. You've got to bleed them and put them straight on ice. The other tuna you're going to catch out there at the moment could be bonitos, so a few bonitos as well as bycatch, and little yellowfin. The little yellowfin don't normally start to show up till the Spanish mackerel start to get in numbers. Okay,
They're
so
here.
they're here. Got a couple. Who's caught some?
Scott Lock.
You got. Scott got some.
Boys
Yep.
have got some.
Size wise, 8 kilo. Oh, little
Little fellas.
jelly beans. They call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little fellas. But they're here.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Very good. Yeah.
I got
So.
a spotty on Sunday.
Oh, you got a nice spotty on Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So the few spotties get caught too.
95.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, very good. Very good. That's good size. The ones that have been caught down at Palmy the last week have been all around that sort of 90 to a metre. They've been good sized spotties, like 6 or 7 kilo, 8 kilo.
Everyone was lying, there was none there yesterday.
Yeah, none there yesterday. Okay.
The whole leg break run around.
You know, it's a real funny thing, and because there's, I don't know how many boats are there, mate, like 40 boats?
At
Oh,
least.
yeah.
At least, yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
I
You-
was
Kayaks
told-
and
I
stuff.
was told don't post it.
oh, okay, well, you told that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, apparently down at 9 Mile Reef, because the Spanish have been really on down at 9 Mile Reef, right? And if you would have noticed, there's not many guys trolling at the front here, because they're all going down to New South Wales and fishing down there, the guys know what they're doing. They're averaging sort of 4 Spanish at least a morning.
Wow.
Trolling mainly baits like gar, bonito, tail or whatever. And the average size fish is about 1.20 metre, which is around 14 kilo, up to 20 kilo, 30 kilo, the big fish. 9 Mile Reef the other day, they said, I think it was on last Saturday, there was about 100 boats there trolling around. So all the boats that are normally out here are all down there at the moment. Not good for the boys from down south, sorry about that. But for the locals down at Tweedheads. Anyone here from Tweedheads area? Sorry guys. Inside's there's been a few fish at Fido's in the mud hole as well here. Yeah. But did you guys get any Spanish down there yet?
No.
Not yet, yeah. Apparently there were guys that catch on stick baits as well, casting, which we'll talk a little bit about tonight. And also guys free diving as well, spearing.
Is Friday's the one next to Cook Island, like directly?
Yeah,
south
just out a little
of it?
bit, out, sort of halfway between there and 9, I guess you could say. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, not quite as far, not quite halfway, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people call it the 10-minute, 12-minute reef, I think, or something. It's got they've got different names for it down that way.
Yeah.
We just call it Fido's. Yeah, the mud hole's a bit further north of it.
Right.
Yeah. And all good spots. Just look for the bait, you'll catch fish. So if you want to go for a trip down that way, you need a New South Wales licence. You can do it online. You get a 3-year one for about $85 for 3 years. Okay, you need to have it because they will check and you'll get fined if you don't have it. Just a fishing licence. I think kids under 16 are free. I'm talking about ladies though. I'm not sure. Sorry. Anyhow, that's that. So let's give you a rundown what's happening at the moment. So the other thing is the marlin, as I said, they're in that area, but there's been a lot caught also inside FAD 12, just inside it. So in about 60 metres deep, 62 metres deep. Also up around FAD 13 and 14, which is right at the top there. Same deal as well, just inside of it or around it. And obviously on skirts mainly at the moment. So traditionally we get more fish on skirts, and like we do hard bodies for mackerel. Early in the season, as the season progresses, it goes more to live baits and it switches. So you get on skirts, but you get a lot more on live baits. So we'll talk about that tonight as well, on the marlin side of it. And then out wider, is anyone here fish out wider for blue marlin and stuff like that? Or big yellowfin? No, okay, we won't worry about that then. We'll keep inside at 100 metres. So how many people here have boats that are under 4.5 metres? Okay, so you guys, jet ski? Okay, how many guys got jet skis? That's a good question. Yeah, a lot of our customers have jet skis, a lot of our customers have jet skis go out to 100 metres. So it depends on your fuel and knowing what you do.
Extra tanks inside and stuff.
Okay,
so
mate, cool,
we
yeah.
can go far.
Yeah, good. So yeah, and a lot of people are getting better at jet ski fishing at the moment. So just got to be careful with marlin though.
Yep.
They like to jump. You saw that one the other day on Fish the Deep. Anyone see that on
Yeah.
Facebook? It was
Nearly got
smashing
Scott in
the
the
boat.
head.
Is that what it's
Just
like?
missed him.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
so-
that video that
Yeah,
they put up.
yeah,
Lachlan brought it home.
yeah.
They missed the first 5 jumps that they had beside the boat.
Is that right? Yeah.
Lachlan had it beside the boat, was just about to throw the gaff in it,
Right.
and it went, and that was 50 minutes into the fight.
Yeah, right. Some big. So
It was 80 odd kilo
yeah, that's right. So,
black,
yeah.
but when it jumped, Scott had the window open,
yeah, right.
and the bill
Oh,
actually hit
went
the
in
edge
the
of the
window.
window.
Oh, did it really?
Missed his head by about that.
So that's what I'm saying. On jet skis, just be really close because they'll be swimming beside you and you're sliding gear, and all of a sudden they'll just turn and jump. That's just the way marlin are.
Our biggest events is having sharks bigger than
The
thing
sharks
can
bigger than
take-
jet skis probably
taking
more of a
them.
worry. You're right.
Taking them. That has happened a couple
I'd
of
be
times.
stressed about that too. But yeah, so anyhow, but the marlin at the moment are a bit of a lucky dip. So there can be a 20 kilo one or 14 kilos. The next one might be 80 kilos. Like
I didn't get it in either.
Did they, Mike? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Lachlan
So
had to lock drag it. Last
Yeah.
45 minutes he
Yeah.
fought it lock drag.
yeah.
Got it to the boat, handed the rod back to the client, and he high sticked it,
Oh right. Oh well.
snapped the rod.
Yeah. Okay.
Snap the line.
Oh nice.
Hour and a half fight.
Hmm. Okay.
Let's say the
Well,
deck
we're
and the
trying to-
skipper weren't real happy.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do tonight. Is not to do it right. The wrong. Sorry, incorrect. You do it right. So anyhow, so we'll start on marlin. We'll start on marlin. So we'll do that first. So who wants to catch a marlin? If you haven't caught one before, you'll want to get one, right? Okay, good. Who's never caught a marlin? Forget about the season. Okay, most of you. Okay, good, cool. Okay, a few things you need to do. One is you need to make sure your gear is sound and your drag is good. If you got a sticky drag, you're going to lose that marlin. Probably going to pop your line somewhere in the fight. So make sure your drag's nice and smooth. Set your drag. If you're running 15 kilo, how many people run 15 kilo line in trolling? 24?
Definitely, yeah.
So they run 24. Okay, so you got plenty of strength. 8 kilo. No one here? Okay, they're all fishing the comp this weekend. Okay, so look, 15 kilos is our most popular size line, and 24 is probably the next popular. They're probably about half and half. Actually start the lines. There are lines you can get to put on your reel that are super thin. That's 24 kilo, and it's the same thickness as strand 15 kilo, which is a really good line. Japanese, American. But yeah, so what I'm getting at is you can run a small reel with 24 kilo as long as your drag's capable of handling the 24 kilo and your rod, because you fish a bit heavier than you would at 15. That's the first thing. Next thing is your rod and reel. Stewie's actually just going to bring a couple of TLDs up in a moment, but if you're using, how many people have star drag reels? Like star drag? Yeah, like a Torium or something like that. So I caught marlin Torium, they're fine. You just need to know, you need to know the drag, which is too much and which is not too much, right? So once you know your drag, to do that, you just pull it off, and what feels right, try and keep it there most of the time. The only time you should change it is when you get the fish close and it might go into the boat or something, as Michael was saying earlier. So just set it right, grab it, pull it out. It's quite hard to pull out like that is. And that's the setting for the whole fight. I'll actually start the lures. You need to know how to deploy all first, then how to do it. So lures, we're going to go from the rods and reels, which is like that. We're going to go now to lures. So lure size at the moment, they're like in pinks. Pinks has been the best colour for us sales-wise and fish producing-wise this season. Every season changes. Every season could be purple, could be last year's Brad J, which is that sort of colour. Still working good this year, but pink seems to be working better. Okay, that sort of pink, whatever pink it may be. And the lures out further are doing really well in the pink. So pink out a long way. If you're going to run it in close, we run darker colours like a purple or black. Okay, and generally the lure is slightly bigger in closer as well, but little ones still work alright. But yeah, that's probably the smallest you'd run in close. But I'd be running a purple and then maybe a blue and pink next, then a Lumo green sort of colour like that, and then a pink one out the back. Okay, does that make sense? If you're going to run 4. How many people you troll with more than 4 rods? Anyone who troll more than 4?
Yeah.
You're all smart. Good. If you got 2 guys in the boat and you got even more than 3 rods in the water, it's a hassle for you to hook the fish up. So unless you get really good at know what you're doing and know how to steer the boat and whatever. So we now got our lures deployed. So we've got our dark ones in close, say 15. I'll draw it on the board here. You can take a picture if you want. Actually, it's drawn already from last time with Peter McCullough. But so this is the back of the boat here. Okay. The short corners, because the short corners, we'll get rid of that 5th one. So you got generally your 2 rod holes at the back are straight at the back, right? Okay. So what we're doing is the short corner here, which if you've got a side console and you're sitting here, you're probably going to be looking more at that one than this one. So this one here, you don't want it to be a hassle at all. So run it short, which is like 15 metres maybe, like at the back, behind the boat. You've probably got to tease it just in front of about 8 to 10 metres back, which we'll talk about in a moment as well. So you need to have that one nearly with the swivel, the snap swivel nearly out of the water and it's skipping along behind the boat. Or you run a deep diver on that short corner and it's out of the way of everything. So something like that. Okay. If we get a wahoo as bycatch or even dolphinfish will take these, and marlin, I call marlin on these too. If you want to run something that's short and out of the way and easy not to watch it and just doesn't get caught up in anything, just run a deep dive as long as it doesn't swim across the pattern. It's got to be a straight swimming one. Run one that gets down to about 6 to 10 metres. Drop it back about 20, it'll end up coming down about 12 metres behind the boat. So it's quite close. And it'll get down 6 or 8 metres. So that might be a deep diver there, right? Or it's going to be that bad boy, that dark one. Why is it dark? Well, if it's a deep diver, it's in the clear water away from all the whitewash, and it's nice clean water, it's swimming and doing its thing. But these fellas, they're contending with the white water behind your boat. It needs to be that for the fish to see it. If it's a light colour, gets caught up in the white water, they don't really see it. They feel the vibration, then they get the sonic whatever, but that they visually can see. So that's either purple or it's a deep diver. Your next lure is over here. That one's going to be, so that's about 15 metres back, 12 metres back. This one's about 20 metres back. Or not even, maybe 18 metres back. So you run your lures at least 6 to 10 metres apart, each lure as you're dropping it back. Okay, so this one here is going to be maybe, or whatever, a blue and purple or something like that, blue and pink, whatever it might be. And that's going to be this fellow here. This third one over here is going to be now about, so that's 15, 20, this one's going to be about 28 to 30 metres, say. And that one's going to be your Lumo, that one there. If you run it like this, you'll catch fish, trust me. It's the Lumo, okay? That's that L there. Then this fellow here is going to be around about, you can run this one up, if you want to, your 5th lure, you normally run right back at 60 metres, round about, but you can run this one here anywhere from 40 to 60 metres back, so it's way out of everything, and it's just doing its own thing at the back. Preferably a pink lure, okay? Pink.
So if you're not running sides.
So the ones out the side here,
just run a shotgun down through the middle of it.
No, well that'd be the 5th one.
Yeah, so if we're not running sides, we're just running shotguns down through the middle.
Correct, and that should be the brightest colour, whichever it may be, Mike, and also the smallest lure. Little pink one, like little pink oozy screamers, which we've got downstairs. The Pakula one has been a big hit this year. We're catching fish way out the back, 60 metres out, pink, and just doing its own thing in the water. Yeah.
And how far do you run the shotgun?
So if you're running that at 28, 30, this one's about 40 then.
Yep.
Shotty would be about 60, so it's way clear of everything.
Yep.
Because the trouble is being a little lure, you get what we call like windy, so if it's blowing like 20 knots and you're trolling across the wind, it gets a bit of a bend in it and it blows closer to old mate here or one of the other ones. So you need to drop it back a bit further.
Yeah, right. Can you run your shotgun in your rocket launcher?
Yeah, you can. But the problem is when you hook up, it is difficult to get it out.
Yeah.
So
The boys on the boat, they run their shotgun high, but have the rubber band.
yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
rubber band to the handle.
And it just pops the rubber band off.
Yeah.
So it's up out of the way, nice
Yeah.
and high. You can adjust what height They want that line to be sitting.
So if I can give you guidance on that, you get yourself just go to Woolies wherever you get it. We normally sell them, but just go to Woolies and get a packet of size 16 rubber bands. So when it's windy, or as Michael's saying, if you want to run it out of there, you put a rubber band on the line. So you hold the top of the rubber band, you wrap it around about 6 or 8 times, then pull it back up through that first loop that you're holding onto, and that sort of makes it a little tight. And then you just hook it onto the handle of your reel.
Okay.
So that instead of being like blown across, it then gets pulled down a bit. That's your boat there, and your rod's up here in the rocket launcher sort of thing, like up here. So instead of the line being out there, it's pulled down to here, and it's running now there. So it's just a lot better. Okay, and the size 16 rubber band doesn't take much to pop it. We fish it on 8 kilo, which is a 2-point-something kilo drag. It'll pop the band.
Yep.
Okay. If you're running 24, look, I still wouldn't go any heavy because I stress about maybe ripping the rod out of the rocket launcher. The only problem still is when you get the fish on, you've got to get it out of the rocket launcher. Okay. So that's what you got to remember. Same on these fellows here. Not so much this one, but your short corners. If you're running if you got a bit of rough water and you can't get your lures to, they're getting like blown too because they're short. They get blown in closer to the boat, wherever it may be, or weight or into your teaser. You run the rubber bands on the handle on those ones as well. Can't do it on these ones, but you can definitely do it on these ones. So again, the line goes from there down to here onto the reel and runs quite flat. If that makes sense. Yeah. So run it flat. So.
What size turning arc do you need?
Yeah. So good question. Look, the way I sort of do it, like sort of that 15, 20, 30, 40, 60 metre sort of thing. Unless you're doing like nearly a 180 or even more, you're pretty well safe. Pretty well safe. And particularly if you're running a deep dive in this corner here, it's very hard to get tangled up. It's not until you nearly do like nearly a 360 that you're going to have big in the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just.
Somewhere like Palmy, obviously.
Yeah, and that's right. You're doing a little bit of weaving around.
Yeah.
So in palmy, like if I'm not running so much skirts, I'm running more deep divers. My furthest one's only probably about 30 metres back. I'll space about 5 metres apart, maybe a little bit more. You just don't have the luxury of running a lure 60 metres out the back because some other person's going to run over it.
Yeah.
They all troll it this way over there. So it's a little bit mayhem, but so run short. But when you're out trolling it out in the blue yonder, you can have the luxury of running them 60 metres back, whatever. Yeah.
Can you not have your back two, Dougie? Like if you've got your two sides. So with the way my boat's set up, I've got the two sides and two backs, and then I've got 2 rod holders on top of my bait board. So I use that one on top of the bait board as my shotgun.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I don't use the 2 back ones, I use the 2 outside.
Yeah, so you're running 3 in that case?
Yeah, running 3.
Yeah, that's right. The same jet skis, they have the same problem, they're only narrow, right?
Yeah.
So they do the same, they'll run 2 out like that, and do run it's hard to run 3 on a jet ski.
I run 2 for now.
Two for now, that's right. So if you do run a third one, exactly like the same, you put it in the bait holder, and just run out the centre. So you'll probably run.
So that's still short and long.
Yeah, so you'll do like because a lot of fish come in. The boat's the teaser.
Yeah,
so
that's
a lot of fish come out and see what's going on.
Oh, Lachlan was saying
Yeah.
they're getting them in like literally 5 metres behind the boat.
That's correct. So you always run about 15 or 20 backs, 15 metres behind the boat. As I said, it snaps down out of the water. Always do that one. The next one might be, if you got 3 rods, it might be 25, and then your bait board might be 40 metres back. Yeah, just shorten it up a bit. Does that all make sense? Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got our lures in place now. We've set our drag. Before we do that though, I've got to tell you 2 things. You've got to run the furthest one out first. Don't run the shortest one out first. Because it always gets caught up into when you drop the other one out back. You look around, look at the sand or whatever, and next minute you realise your rod's over this way. Drama. So run your longest one and work your way back in closer. If you got colour line, so do we troll braid over mono? Look, I troll both. In America they all troll braid, but I troll both. So whatever's on the I grab is what gets used for the day. And I like to do that because for me it's good to tell you guys how it works, you know. So it all works. But if you got colour braid, good for your mates, you just say to drop it at 4 colours, as long as he doesn't skip a colour. Teasers, so after we've got our 4 rods deployed, we drop our teaser last. Okay, I don't like to drop teaser at first because I always get caught up in teasers and drop it back. So teaser goes at last. Look, I might run it off this one here or that one there, depends. If that's the deep diver, I never run it with the deep diver, don't like it. I will run it here though, off the back bollard or off the struts on your bait board. That's a good area because it's in the centre a bit more. I run it back about probably 8 metres. Most of your lines, like a lot of guys I've seen with teasers, from here to the back of the room out, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, you want the fish to come up a bit closer, make it a bit easier for you, and it's just mayhem if you're turning and whatever, it's bad.
When you say tease like birds or witch stock?
Yeah, birds or witch stock, that's right. So, look, oops, if you're going to run birds, that wants to go into business, that one. Let's catch fish. Oh, yeah, so if you run, I think you actually got a bird in your bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got a bird and a strip. So you can run a bird and a strip. You can run a bird and a daisy chain. It'll be like that size or smaller. That size doesn't matter. So all of these have a little pusher on the back, and they sit at the back like so. They're about probably sort of maybe here a bit longer. And this bird here actually sits up that way. Sits the other way up. With like the shape of the boat is what sits under on the water. And has anyone used the bird yet? They do this sort of thing. You flick off water, and it makes it all happen, like a little bait fish jumping around, whatever. And behind is a very colourful display or whatever it might be. And yeah, it just gets the fish going. So they'll hone in on the boat. Will be the first thing to get their attention if they're swimming near you. Second thing is they'll see that and they'll come ripping in, and hopefully they'll see one of the lures on the way in. And that's how it all works. Or they'll come up and they'll smash this. If that's the case, hopefully they'll drop back and grab one of the lures, which they do sometimes. You can't really do much of the tease, you can't sort of like jerk it, whatever. It doesn't work that way. We do have some lures downstairs, the peculiar daisy chains, which are a little bird, and then some little skirts, and then a ring one.
Stupid question, but which is the front and which is
Oh, that's the front there. Okay, that's the front. And yeah, so the wings are that, and you've actually got a snap sort on the back, which snaps onto the front of that.
Yeah.
So
Or-
you run the full daisy chain off the back out along the hook
Yeah, just actually don't even use that. You just run that short.
Right.
And I don't like to run long those ones. I like to run a bit shorter, and they become your teaser. So if you got a tinny or a jet ski, they're a really good teaser. You don't need to run a teaser then, but you've got one in your bag, so use it. But you can just run that as a teaser.
So what line we put on it, Doug?
I had some lines here, but like I just said, we've sold the last one today, which was good. We got the cooler one. We had a little cheaper one. It was like 20 something bucks. But it had a shackle and that sort of stuff, like this one does as well. So these have a shackle on there. That's a proper teaser tie line. So the shackle goes onto the front of it. Or if you've got a witch doctor, doesn't matter whatever you're using, that goes on the front. Make sure you do it up tight. And then you just deploy it back whatever length it is. If you're stressed about length, you can measure it out and then tie it off to a cleat, and that's as far as it goes. There is, I think, 20 metres on here, but you never drop it out 20 metres. Okay.
Can you run anything else behind Witch Doctor?
Yeah, you can. No, in front. In front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have these. I think we've got a couple down there with the strips on them.
Yeah.
So and you can actually put that strip that you've got in your bag, which I think is
Hanging up.
same as this one here. Yeah, that's the same as the other day. This one here. So you can run that behind your bird as well. Okay, and it'll just flutter around and move around and be bright and flicks off light everywhere. Or you can run that, hook that onto the rope. Yeah, you sort of open up the rope and then put the snap through it and then clip it on. Okay, and I'd probably run about maybe 4 metres up above you or 3 metres above your witch doctor. Yeah. Does that all make sense? So you got one of those in your bag too. So just give it a crack, and you'll see it's the difference between just towing lures or doing that.
Do you always tow teasers? Like are they?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So look, not when I'm trying for mackerel. I don't try for billfish or pelagics. So no, wahoo eat them. I got a teaser one of these with like a dredge bar which got downstairs. It's got like about 8 or 10 of them off it. Half of them are chewed in half or got scratches all down and whatever. And I've got a witch doctor, which I've had. I've never lost. I can't believe it. We get customers that lose them first go. You know, they get caught in the prop, they forget about them, whatever. They sink. Oh, they float actually, but
They sing after
they sing after a while. Exactly right. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a bit of both, right? But mine's got like half the mirrors are missing, and the mirrors are all scratched, like it's marlins have smashed it so many times over 20, 30 years. But it still does its thing. So witch doctor's like a big block of wood. You think, I would have paid $300 for a block of wood, but it is routed out, full of lead, and it's got these mirrors on it, and it just swims like one of these things. Okay, beautifully. And that's right. You'll be driving along, and just at the corner of your glasses, there's a big flash, and then you think, oh, what was that? But it's actually off the witch doctor. It'll flick light probably 20 metres through the water. Flick. It's just you've seen it? Everyone got one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how good they are. They're very good. So give that a crack. Okay, so we deployed everything. So now we've got our drag set, as I said, at the right thing. If you haven't got lever drag and you've got star drag, you just need to know that feel. If you've got lever drag, you have a safety, you have a strike position. And you do not play with it until you get the fish finally to the boat. You might just drop it back a little bit. When you do that, you always have your thumb on the spool as you drop it back a little bit. If you drop it back without that and you go back too far, then it's like there goes the fish, it'll snap straight away. Okay? Just get that tension right. If you're solo and jet ski, whatever it may be, and you've got the fish close to the boat, you set your drag right. That's quite easy now. I put that into the rod holder and then manhandle either via the double or a one-on leader, or whatever it may be. And then if it's a wahoo, it's going to gaff it, whatever. But put it into the rod holder. Don't ever put the rod just on the floor if you can help it, or on the whatever, because if the fish takes off again, it may take the whole thing. You might get caught around your handle or whatever, and the whole thing's overboard. If it's in the rod holder, at least it'll snap the line. You won't lose your rod and reel. Okay.
All the rods attached with leashes because.
Oh yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I'm in the business of sales. Okay. No, the gentleman's right. Safety line on your thing here. Okay. Right here. Most of them have got these little things on there. If they don't, we sell one from Shimano. If you don't know this, it's like a little strap with two buckles on it, and you put that around one this side and this side, pull it through, and then you put the clip on that, and it works just as good.
So, Doug, when you've got your drag set, you haven't actually set it to your 5 kilos, say, at the strike mark. You've just set it.
Look, I do set it if I'm using 15 kilo, and even on 20.
Set at the strike.
Yeah, pretty well. That's correct, mate. That's correct.
You're not. Yeah. Okay.
That's correct.
So when you're trolling, it's already set.
It's already set.
You're not.
Don't need to touch
leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Yeah. So the next point is, so now we get a hook up, we get a fish on, right? It's like you might just hear, generally probably not 9, but probably 7 times out of 10, you hear like this, a little bit of drag pulls off. You think, oh, missed it. Then all of a sudden you hear it again, and then it'll go. That's generally what the marlin does. They rarely grab it and run straight away. They do, some do, 3 out of 10 might. But most of them will grab it a little bit, they play with it, then they'll hit it and run. The next thing you got to do is if you're on the solo, you get in a jet ski, whatever it might be, or if you're in a small boat, you don't have the luxury of slowing down a bit and then winding the lines, and it's pretty hard to do that when you're in a little boat, and a lot of time they go around in circles. So you just got to keep it going forward, so slow down a little bit on your throttle, keep the boat going about 1 or 2 knots. If you are going into the wind and you get the hit, you need to try and circle around whilst pulling the line. You're going to drop maybe 100 metres of line, but try and go around and go downwind with the wind. So that's 15 knots. White caps is shitty. It's very hard for you to keep the boat going straight while you're down the back trying to wind the lines up. It'll end up running over the lines or the fish or whatever. So you must get the boat on the right with the wind first, and then get the right over roll. If that's any help. While you got pressure on the line, the fish is going to stay there. It's like you hanging onto it, right? And it's still doing its thing and running whatever. Too many people stress straight away, they pull it straight back to neutral, run down, trying to hook the fish. Bad move. Okay?
Do you like throttle down a little bit?
Yeah, I do. Straight away, I'll throttle down. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I'll try and give it 5 seconds, so I get another one around, I'll get a double one, because they're both doing the right speed.
Yeah.
But after 5-10 seconds, then I'll slow down to maybe, if I'm doing 7 knots or 6 knots, I'll drop back to about 2 or 3.
Yeah.
By that time, hopefully there's no wind, I'm still going straight.
Yeah.
Or I'll go down, arched around into the wind. Yeah.
Do you speed up at all? Or
No,
not?
never speed up. So that's the old Marlin back in the 80s type thing. And a lot of people do it because they think it's
I do
the
it
right.
Spanish,
Yeah, okay, Spanish mackerel maybe. And if you got game poles maybe, because you got a bit of drop back. That's why they did it a lot with game boats. But little boats, you don't need to do it. No.
Doug, when you said 6 or 7 knots, is that your ideal trolling speed?
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, like everything works well. If you're running a hard body and skirts, they all swim happy at 6 to 8 knots.
Yeah, and probably one other question with that. Do you generally try and troll like deliberately with current or against
Yeah.
current? Is
So
there a preference?
I zigzag with the current,
Zigzag with
but
it,
at the
okay.
moment there's no current.
Yeah.
So as I was saying to my customers during the week, you know, I always ask them which way you troll, and
Yeah.
they all were all everywhere. So north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
When there's not much current, you have the luxury of going any way you want,
Yep.
and the fish are not really stressed about sitting in the current.
Okay.
But when there is current, yeah, always troll down with the current,
Yeah.
and they're sitting into the current. It's
Roger
just easy for them to sit that way.
Yeah.
They don't use as much energy.
Thank you.
But when the current's ripping, like when we get 3 knots of current, and say we started up off the pin, the trouble is, and say we just want to do the, say, at the top there somewhere on Sully's, wherever it is, you've only got like 1.5, 2K area to troll down on, and only about probably 500 metres or whatever to troll east-west on. If you just troll down the current, you do it within about 5 minutes, it's too quick.
So you zigzag to slow
Yeah,
down.
zigzag. So zigzag as much as you can, east-west, not flat, but slightly south as you're doing it.
Yeah.
And you cover the ground a lot better, you cover the reef a lot better. And a lot of the time the fish like to hit it side onto the current, not with the current.
That's 7 knots, though, is including the current speed, isn't it?
That's correct.
Boat
So when you,
speed, not speed over ground.
yeah, exactly right. So when you go back into the current and you want to troll back up and do another run down again, you can bring it all in, but it's sometimes it's better to go back against it on a slight angle, zigzag again if you want, but your speed over ground will be only 4 knots, but the lures are still doing 7 knots because of the current. So you can't go much faster because they start skipping out of the water and doing bad things, you know, and that's when you get tangles again. They catapult 10 metres into the next one.
Sorry.
Yep.
Do you run different speeds for dead baits if you're trolling?
Yeah,
with
so
that?
I've never really trolled dead baits with skirts
Okay.
because dead bait for me is like 1 to 3 knots
Yep.
max. Yeah, so it's really hard to do both together.
Okay.
Look, there are, if you got the, say the reaper rigs, you might be able to get those up to 5 knots.
Yep.
And run out with skirts as well. But unless you got a swimming type system, it's really hard to get them troll fast.
Okay.
Actually, wildcats will work. You know the head with like 3 ounce head with this fish hair behind it. They will troll. I've trolled those with my skirts and hope for a wahoo and caught bloody marlin on them.
Yeah,
It's a wire. So yeah, it's that's you got to pick the right lure to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do you run it with your spread? Dead baits?
Right at the back,
Right.
furthest out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it away from the other lures. Does that all make sense? Okay, so we've now got the fish on. When we've got the fish on, a couple of things you need to tell your mates that are.
I never get
Yeah.
Well, I don't want half the pack to leave yet. So we've got the fish on. So just imagine. We've got the rod out of the rod holder. Are you wearing a rod bucket? Not a rod bucket. What do you use? Look, just use something. I meant to grab a couple on the way up, I didn't. But actually, there's a couple in here, I think. You don't need nothing flash, okay? So this is actually not a bad one. This is like a little version of a black magic type belt, right? Probably one of our best sellers. They're like $39 or something.
I don't think that's what the rough Randy though, Doug.
No, it's actually got a big strap at the back. It's flapped over quite a few times. But anyhow, that's what you use, and that'll save you. So it's just about obviously that locks in, same as it does onto your rod, into that pin there. I'll pass this around so you got some idea what I'm talking about. And it's just a bit of comfort because you will end up, if you caught a marlin or whatever it might be before without a rod bucket, you will get pretty badly bruised here. And the trouble is, if you've got a good fish on that's an hour and a half into the fight, it's sort of keep putting them back in that position again, and you end up stuffing up because you don't want to do it there, you do it over here, that's not the right way to do it, and you lose the fish. So make it more comfortable for you, make it a long time. So you get the rod holder on, you've got it in there. The next thing to do is you do not drop the rod tip. Don't go down and then pump it back up and drop it down. The action is just in this area here. Try and keep the rod tip up, just keep winding. If you've got mates on the boat that have never caught one before, just tell them just keep winding. I don't care if the drag's slipping or whatever, just keep winding. And keep the rod tip up. And eventually you'll get it. Okay? We'll get there. But if you drop that rod tip and they do a bit of a thrash or they swim forward, the hook will just fall out of its mouth. Unless you've got a pin really good and you're lucky. Okay, they've got a very hard mouth. It's very hard to get that hook in. We do use good hooks, and there are a lot of good hooks on the market. The rigs that we're using at the moment, and Buster's got a new hook out which has been extremely good this season. We're generally running 8Os on our sort of 15 kilo gear. If you're running 24 kilo with the 8Os, you've got to be careful, don't set the drag at like 8 kilos, because you will maybe bend and getting into it hard. But 8Os fit that sort of size skirt nicely, you know? That size skirt nicely. So it's all about, if you put a 10O hook in there, which is really good for say 24 kilo, it's not going to bend, but it doesn't look good in the skirt and doesn't let the skirt do its thing nicely. So you've got to improvise and drop your drag back a little bit and make it suit the skirt. Okay, so we get the fish close to the boat, it's jumping around all over the place. Look, do you reverse up hard in the boat and make it look like they're playing a big game fish? Try and follow it forward all the time. Okay, whether it's your boat's going forward, you sort of do big circles around the fish all the time. That's how it is with marlin. You're sort of going around in circles. Because the reason being is when you give it a little tiny bit of slack, and sometimes you have to do that because they go down deep, all of a sudden the line will start to go slack, and that's because they're coming to the top and they're going to do their jump, whatever. At that point there, you'll then chase it down, okay? You'll chase it down. The fish, you're following the fish that way now. Boat's going that way. It might be against it, we might be against the current, doesn't matter. You've got to get down to that fish. You're really clear your lines there. You've really got a clean deck. You're fighting the fish. So at that point, you just wind as fast as you can and try and get the slack back up and gain maybe he's had 150 metres out, you've gained 50 metres back. And then he'll go deep again. And then you got to wait for him to take off another 10 metres of line, and then slowly he'll come back to the top again and chase him down again. And then you're only like 40 metres back, he's behind the boat 40 metres. And after a few of those, you eventually get him beside the boat. That's how it sort of works.
Just as simple as that, hey, Doug?
Not as simple as that. By that time my hands are locked up, my shoulders are locked up, and I want to drink. But that's how it sort of is. Now when you get the fish close to the boat, it's the next part. So if you're solo, you'll need to just drop that drag back a little bit. Just keep your hand on there, drop it back just a little bit, and then put it in the rod holder, and he's just sitting out there, the boat's going forward, his jet ski's going forward, and he's just swimming beside you. When you go to get him, before you get him, I don't care if it's a pair of garden gloves or whatever, you need to have a glove on your right hand, okay? Well, left hand, whichever one you grab it with, it's up to you. But if you're going to release him, and you're going to grab him by the bill and get a quick photo, whatever, you need to have a set on. If you grab him by the hand onto the bill and he shakes, it'll just rip all your skin off. It's like a diamond file or a bastard file, whatever. And then when it shakes and you're hanging onto it, when you let go of it, or your hand will just be like little red dots everywhere because it's just ripped all the skin off, and it stings and it gets infected. That'll save you. You get better gloves, of course. There's all different types of tracing gloves, whatever. But you just have to have some sort of glove. If you haven't got a glove, just find a bit of rag, wrap it around your hand, and then grab him, okay? Or a towel, whatever. You need to have something. Okay, then when you're getting close to the boat, if you've taken the photo, you've got to get the hook out. Or you might get the hook out first, whatever it may be. When you get the hook out, have some sort of de-hooker. So that little cheap one is the best little tool ever. It's close to, you're right down on the bill, that's the trouble. But the beauty is, if he's hooked in the beak from this way, you can push that way and push it out away from him. And if he's hooked this way here, and you need to pull it back that way, you can pull it back that way. Okay, you can push or pull. And that's all you need to get the hook out. If you try to use a pair of pliers, make sure they're fairly long. He's got to watch his bill, that's what I'm getting at. They can't bite you, they will put a bit of pressure on your hand. I've had my hand squashed in a couple of times, but it doesn't kill you, doesn't break your bones. But there's a fair bit of pressure. But just have that little tool there is probably all you need. Okay, pass that around. Yep. Thank you. Look, some guys use lighter hooks like SL12s, but they're very hard to use on 15 kilos. They bend out during the fight. SL12s were the beginning catch hook, but these are about 2 times or 3 times the thickness of the shank and a lot stronger. SL12s, the beauty of those is you can get 2 wraps on the on your leader and just pull on it and the hook bends out and the fish swims away. You don't need to go near it. But most people want to take a photo. If you want to take it out of the water, that's up to you guys. If it's like got this gut hanging out or you hooked it in the eye and it's like done, gaff it, okay, because they taste good. They taste good as any wahoo or whatever you're going to catch. But if you want to release it and you want to take it out of the water, look, I wouldn't suggest doing that with a 100 kilo one, maybe a 30 kilo one or a 20 kilo one, and put him on your lap, put a towel on your lap, a wet towel, and just take a quick shot of it. But the best thing to do is to take a picture over the side of the boat with you holding its bill and there's fishes there and someone take a picture. Does that make sense? And it's the safest way probably as well. Yeah, okay.
Do they thrash around a lot when you put them in the boat?
They will. They move around a bit, but they're as tight as you are. So, generally speaking, they thrash around the boat when they jump in the boat when you're during the fight. Had that happen a few times. But they generally jump back out all the time. They land at the front of the boat, whatever. Yeah. So, any questions on the marlin at all? Everyone's good with the marlin? Yes, one.
Just one quick one on like the actual rig that you would run. So if you were running braid, for example, would you run like braid to like an FG knot?
Good question. Yes. So look, an FG is fine as long as you trust your own FG knots. And I'd run about probably 80-pound leader on even on 15 kilo. And I'd run about, even on a spin reel, doesn't matter, 4 to 6 meters.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, so would you run, if you were running mono, would you run a swivel to a...
Yeah, so run a size 4. On that sort of size, say using 50-pound braid, and you're running 6 meters or 5 meters of 80-pound mono as your leader, then you'd run about a size 4 or size 5 snap. 4 snaps are a good size.
Okay.
That's they're about 100 pounds breaking straight at the end, and then hook your lure. Your lure leader's short, so when we rig our lures up, we make these little rigs here. I'll just pass around one of these so you guys have got some idea.
So you don't need to run like a wind-on leader with braid or anything like that?
Oh, like you can run a wind-on leader or your own FG knot leader.
Just a good few meters.
About 4 to 6 meters.
Okay.
So you want enough so you get the line onto the reel, maybe a couple of turns, and then that 80-pound goes out the rod, and the fish is about where the gentleman is there, and you can manhandle it in. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Thanks. Sorry guys for a sec. So when you do the hook, you can see the eye of the hook's inside the skirt. They're just. Now the secret is with oh, that's actually not that one. Wrong lure. Sorry. So exhibit A is going to be gone. The long size hook rig. I grab the. Should be there. Yeah, thanks. Should we go grab? I'll get the right size. We'll pass it around. Because that's the only one I can put it in and pass around. Because all the others have got a little thing through the centre, so we can't do them. Anyhow, while that's happening, so as I said, there's a bit of wire in there. So that little bit of wire is your safety guard against, say, wahoo. But let me tell you now, they bite off around the head area and it doesn't do anything. So, good for us. But I hate it myself. Like I think I told you guys last year at the start of the season, we had 5 lures out, and I didn't even see it happen. Didn't even hear a little ink or anything. And it must have been a school wahoo. and 3 of my lines are like just there's about 10 or 15 knots of wind blowing, with like that. I'm going, it's going, and then I realised that they'd really be bitten off, all snipped off, 3 of them snipped off in one go.
All the deckies are really bad at knots.
Oh yeah, well no, they were all the right distance out. But anyhow, that's just the law of average, you know. But if you run wire on your lures, you're going to get a lot less bites from dolphin fish and wahoo. Dolphin fish and marlin. Wahoo don't really care; they don't give a damn. It's
Don't lose the
wire.
real possession anyway. It's not a good day.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Exactly right. I like that comment. Yeah. So with your hook rigs, always run wire. I'd never run mono directly to the hook. Well, I don't mind you doing that, but you're going to get bitten off. You're going to get bitten off. And when you catch a marlin, after you release the marlin, and you're about to put that lure back out, please, just like any fishing, check the leader up a bit. Thanks, Stu. Where's that fat boy? What is it? Well, let's Stu pass this around. So I just about pretty well done marlin there, mate. So get on to the next one. This is the mustard hook. I pass these around too. So, like, they work out about, if you do your own rigs up, like obviously we sell these rigs for like 15 or 20 bucks. I think we've got to make them up. So, but if you do it yourself, it probably costs you about $5, if that, $4.
One hook only.
Yeah, one hook only. So don't run. Look, we got 2 hook rigs down in Pacoolas in our own ones as well. It's just a little bit dangerous, particularly with dolphin fish and stuff like that. And generally, a lot of time, it's sometimes that hook in there, sometimes it's that hook in there. In that case, it's when they're smashing around, that's dangerous. And a lot of people get hooked up in
Dangerous just for yourself.
For yourself. For yourself, yeah. Now, glad you brought that point up because I got exhibit A here again. So these are treble cutters and hook cutters. So they'll cut a 10-0, 11-0 in the big 7.691S, which are 3 times thicker than these. They'll cut that with these. Have a set or something like that in your boat. Bolt cutters doesn't matter.
Probably flat.
Yeah. And keep them oiled up. Yeah.
Sorry, that's for cutting what?
No, cut the hook out of your hand.
Oh.
So you push it, or your leg, or wherever it may, arm. So if you do get one in you, rather than have to stress about the whole scenario, most of the time, if you can push it to the point out, most of these have small barbs. The hooks these days have little barbs. So if you can get that barb out the other side, just cut it and then it's out. Otherwise, you have to do the push down, wrap a 100-pound line around it, and give it a big yank, and a little bit of meat comes out of it.
The theory of pushing the hook through the thing, when you are at it, it's very hard.
It's very hard. Like I got 2 trebles in my leg off one of these things, like that style of hook lure. Very hard to pull out. I couldn't believe how hard it is to pull out. Anyhow, any more questions on the marlin? We're going to go on to now dollies. We've got dolphin fish. Okay, so Stu, yesterday you got some dolphin fish yesterday, Stu?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Where was it, Stuart? Like, exactly.
There's big yellow floating things out there in the middle of the ocean. Nah.
Oh, you got all those ones that were that big?
Nah, they're actually pretty decent, yes. So.
Yeah.
Average
Yeah.
size about 800-900, yeah.
And they got a couple of metre 15 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the fat side.
This period of the year, we should have taken 5 or 10 ourselves.
Yeah.
We haven't got any.
That's right. So just so you know too, folks, everything this year's a bit late. The water's cold. The snappers still biting heads off. Okay, they really are. And it's very, very late. So I spoke to a couple of my mate, one of my customers just went out to Harvey Bay first week of the new year. It was only last week. And endless amounts of spotties there now. They're normally there in November. Okay, so they're just arriving there now. So we won't see them until probably late February, March.
Well, the fact you just said that, because I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah.
This afternoon, the boys were informed that they're in plague, the mahi are in plague proportion up north.
Are they?
Coming.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
we-
it's all
we
coming
started
down.
on the spotties in Harvey, but like it's
You
a
got them
big
as well,
season.
Brian?
Like,
Yep.
we were getting triple hookups on the
Yeah, that's
spotties
correct.
2 months
Yeah.
ago in the bay.
Right. Okay.
So,
So-
hopefully we're going to get a lot.
Yeah, it's all going to happen, but
long season.
my thoughts are that it's, as we were saying before, it started sort of the last couple of days, and every day it gets better.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as we have a bit of southerly wind. Northerlies, so we had 26 degrees last weekend, water temp, then it blew northerly earlier this week, and it went down to 23. The northerlies roll the water over, and it goes cold again, and everything sort of shuts down a little bit, and then the warm water comes hooting down from up north again, and the next flurry of fish arrive. That's how it sort of works. Yeah. So, it's all going to happen. Just hang in there.
And a quick trolling question.
Yes.
So a few weeks ago we were out at the Fads,
Yes.
and I'm there going past the Fads looking at kingfish. That far
Yeah,
away,
little ones. Yes.
by the 50, and we stuck some deep divers out the back and went around and upside down and couldn't get anything to take them. How close to the Fad should you be trolling? What should I have done to get them in that case? Just throw them at them.
Soft plastics.
Yeah, small plastics or
Yeah.
bait.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, half pillies and stuff like that. Single hook works
You
pretty
got to
good.
switch.
Yeah.
Switch for half an hour. Give it a
Because
crack.
they're normally deep, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. But because you're using a jig head, it'll go down anyhow,
Right.
and all of a sudden it'll just take off when they're on there.
So frustrating, just that.
It is. Yeah.
Tens of them can't do anything
Yeah,
about
I know. Or you could use little jigs as well. I've got little jigs here too, but little jigs will work as well around the Fads.
it. Yeah,
And same with dollies as well. So when the dollies sometimes switch off, too many boats around, whatever, you look on the sound and about 20 metres down, you'll see a bait school and maybe some fish. They're generally the dollies. So if you can switch to jigging or switch to plastics that get down there, or even bait, they'll hit that. So you've got to be prepared. Means another 3 or 4 rods in the boat or a ski. But you've got to switch for half an hour and just do that. And if you're having a fat time and you're getting a few, it's worth the switch. And sometimes there'll be a bite period on the troll. It might be at 10 o'clock, and this is at 8 o'clock, so you've got an hour to kill anyhow. So just do something different.
How do you determine your bite period?
Good question. Generally speaking, 2 hours after high tide is my favourite. You will get a bite. You get a bite period morning, bite period afternoon, on dusk and dawn. You get a bite period on the tide, the high tide, or the first to run in. But the major bite time is always 2 hours after high, which is generally coincides with moon rising at that same time.
And no matter how far offshore you are, that's still the case, is it?
Could
The
be out
tide plays
can be
that
out
role.
in the dam chasing barra. Same deal.
Same thing, wow.
Even though it's not tide related, it's to do with the moon. Yeah.
Moon phase. Right.
At the moment, our moon phase is getting more. It's going to give the bite period becomes longer. So now when the moon's above you, is a longer bite period too. And then when it sinks down, you'll get a bit of a flurry at that point. But then once it goes down, it shuts down a bit, right? So if you follow Fishing Reminder or Windy, sorry, Stu. Windy. You've got you can see the bite times, and you generally look at the little moon picture,
Yeah,
and it coincides. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What about the bite times?
Yeah, bite times. This one's on here, love. Yeah. So if you look on that's Fisher Reminder, is it?
No,
It's just it's
times.
bite times.
Oh, bite
yeah.
times. Okay, I've seen
Yeah.
one. Okay, there's quite a few. They all work on similar scenarios, Andy. Yeah. So the major bite time is the time. So if it says it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're out there, if you can get a leave pass to stay out to 3, hang out there, because they'll come on the bite. So many times that's worked for us. You're about to go home next minute, all of a sudden the hell starts to happen. Yeah. Okay, dolphin fish, Stewie. So we talked about trolling skirts. When you're trolling for the marlin, it's the same scenario, but it's a dolphin fish jumps on. The difference is the dolphin fish are a bit more erratic. So they do a lot of jumping, whatever. They don't fight as hard as the marlins. They're smaller. You might get a big one that might be 1.5 metres. That they fight hard. They'll fight hard. They sort of sit in the water like that. They've especially got a bull on. They're quite big in the head, and they're very hard to turn it, especially only running 15 kilo. But you will get them. Sometimes they'll throw the hook when they jump. But most of the time you can get it, and they're a good gaff shot because they're quite chunky, so they're easy to get in the gaff. The problem is when you get in the boat. So they go berserker. Has anyone got a big dolphin fish in the boat yet and gone berserker?
Shane got a 133
Oh,
just
true.
before Christmas.
Oh, I saw that, Shane. That's a good fish. Yeah, that's a good fish.
That was his first
Yeah.
ever one
That's a good one.
the second gaff shot.
on the second gaff shot.
Oh, okay. Won't go there.
The decky was.
And how was it when you got it in the boat? Did it go crazy?
Oh, yeah, it did. But I just killed it pretty quick.
Okay. So 3 things. You can use a donger and put it out, but they seem to go bang, 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 and they still keep flapping around. They're really tough. Second thing is you can put it straight into a bag. Like a lot of people use fish bags these days, especially on skis. just try and get it in there and unclip your lure. Worry about the lure later. Let him die, and zip it up and let him thrash around inside. Bleed if you can though, and then get the lure out later and drop it back out again. Okay. If it is the only lure that's working at the time, it might be worth the struggle to get the hook out. But that's the dangerous part. A good part about using single hooks, it's not too dangerous. You can get it out. And again, same deal again. Cut their throats and keep them on ice and look after them. Yeah. Okay. So Stu, we're trying for dolphin fish. We've got the skirts out. Same deal.
Yep.
Do you run any divers on dolphin fish?
No, I don't worry about that. And I'll generally run my skirts out just that little bit further.
Good call. That's actually true.
Generally a little bit brighter colours, out in that cleaner water. Generally catches a few more. Yep. Less dark colours. Yep.
Water temp, same. Water temp.
Like the perfect scenario is about
Yeah.
26 or 27
Yeah.
for dolphin fish, but we catch them at 22 degrees, and we catch them at 28. And up North Queensland, they catch them at 32 or 30. So the further out you go, generally the bigger they are. That's one thing about dolphin fish we find on the Gold Coast, but they're like I've caught bulls that are like just at the back of Dead Man's, not for a few years now though, but they're like 1.5 metres and 18 or 20 kilo, you know. It just depends what's cruising around at the time. Yeah. They hit hard too. They really, there's no ant on those things. It's just like whack straight on. Yeah, straight on. Yeah, but as Stewie said, if you're specifically trolling for you want to get dolphin fish, drop everything back another 10 or 20 metres back. Okay. If you've got the luxury of having open space.
I don't worry about teaser too much. No.
Yeah, not so much a dolphin.
You can do. But
Yeah. You can pick the revs up a little bit, go 7 to 8 knots if you want. You got more chance of getting a wahoo doing that too. Yeah.
What's the place to find dollies at the moment?
Around the fads, I just sit there hang around the fads a little bit, but most of the bigger ones have been caught out just in the middle of nowhere, like random, just trolling for marlin. Between
At what depth?
around that
70 metres.
Yeah, 60 to 70 metre mark. Yeah.
Last couple of days, there's been a good current line around about 70 metres. It's held a fair bit of bait, dirty on one side, clean on the other, and there've been some pretty reasonable fish in that.
So if you went to look at the 36s and wanted to head out the 50s, would you troll all the way between the two?
Oh, you can if you want. You can if you want, but if you zigzag, so here's the golden rule: sort of zigzag between about 35 and 50 metres.
Yeah.
60 and 75 metres or 72 metres, and then 85 and 100 metres.
Okay.
Because 70 metres goes for quite a while, and so does 80. And if you want to, say you want to go wait to get out to 85 metres, you get about 12k area of just 75 to 85.
Can you give me those numbers again? 35 to 50?
Yeah, 35 to 50 metres. So that's sort of like doing the inside the 24s, 18s.
18s, 24s.
And outside 24s.
Chart, there's a line on
Yeah,
the chart.
and the depths are like that.
Chart,
Yeah.
you'll see the line.
Okay.
Yeah, and zigzag like so, running with the current in that area.
So 35, 50, and what was the second one?
Around about sort of 60 to 75 or 72, something there. And then it's like 75 and then 80 goes for the most. 80 goes forever. You've got to get to about 85 or 88 before it actually starts to change.
Right.
If you can be on 85 for actually for 2Ks or 3Ks.
So what you're looking for is the quick change.
You're looking for the reef which holds the bait, which holds the fish. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
But there are bait schools that are transient and they might be moving from go to low. And they're the ones you just come across while you're driving out there. Drop the lures out, especially if there's birds sitting on it and whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, drop the lures out and have a
Yeah, we see
quick
that
zip
heaps,
around.
like on the way
Yeah.
out the seaway up to the pin, you get this massive
Yeah, that's right.
random baits.
And there's no doubt there'll be probably fish on there. Especially if you slow down a bit. Trouble is when you're going fast, it's very hard to get a good sounder that can pick up marlin on while you're doing 20 knots. It's very hard. When you drop down about 6 knots, you can see everything clearly. And that's when you do a quick loop around, might just drop out 2 or 3 lures, you know. Do a couple of laps and around the bait, and if it's not happening, or it might be prime bite time, you might just want to keep going to where you know the fish are. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, so Stu, we'll talk about the soft plastics at fads, mate.
Yeah, so look, generally we try to stop a couple of Ks out from the fad, put your lines in and have a couple of trolls around the general area first. You will pick up your better quality fish doing that generally. It might be 80 metres from a fad, they might be within 200 metres. Might be because there's bait there. There could be a couple of boats already fishing hard on it. They might have spooked out and they're out in that open water. But if you just want to go and get a feed, definitely light little spin reels like this, spin combos, sorry.
4,000 or 5,000 size reel.
And small soft plastics or float line in half pillies and stuff like that. Definitely going to
20 or 30 pound braid.
Yeah, 20 pound braid, 30 pound braid, 30 pound leader.
Yeah, 30, 40 pound leader.
You're pretty sweet.
Yeah.
When you say small plastics, like a lot of 4 inch.
Yeah, so 4 and 5 inch type of thing.
These things,
like bait fish
these
patterns.
smack it. I mean, smack it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll pass these around.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Stewie, I was out at 12C on Saturday.
Yeah.
And there was 16 boats there.
Yeah.
And we just had pillies.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were, but they were using larvae that were about that big.
Yeah, probably little
Pulling in,
yappies. Yeah.
dropping it, drifting off it. I mean, they're only pulling 50, 55 centimetre stuff. But anyone that had dead baits couldn't get a hit.
Yeah.
I was throwing slugs, let the slug drop,
Yeah.
burn, nothing.
Yeah.
Had to be alive.
Had to be
Very
live.
strange.
So-
There was only 4 boats that had liveys,
Yeah.
only 4 boats catching fish.
Yeah.
If I can give you any advice on when you're doing that sort of fishing, is everyone goes to the 10 fathom reef on the way out and stops there, and you go out and see where there's like 50 boats over there getting bait, and they'll spend 40 minutes getting bait, wait for the sun to come up. Exactly. When the sun to come up, whatever, you don't waste your time. There's bait out. There's so much bait out there, you can't believe it. You drop bait jig down around the fads there, you just smash it, most times. So in that time when you wait for the sun to come up, that gives you time to get to the fad. You're there before anyone else, and you got first divvy a lot of the time. There might be a couple of boats there, but you've already got sun up by that time. And drop a bait jig down. Look for the bait school. Drop a jig down. You get a string of yakkers or whatever, and it's the local stuff that they're feeding on too. So if they're all pillies, and that's fine. The pillies don't live very long, but whatever it is that you get on this string, and you instead of using a 2 or 3 ounce or 4 ounce sinker, you put an 8 ounce sinker on. Just up the ante and everything, and it'll work fine. And get your liveys out there real quick, and you're right there, and just chuck them straight back out, like Michael's saying.
So with the rod you're currently displaying with your 4-inch plastic, are you literally 200 metres, 80 metres, whatever off the fad, and you haven't necessarily found the bait, and you're having a random throw? Or have you
With the
found
plastics,
that far out?
with the plastics, we
With the
find there's always fish on the sound and in the area, but generally the current's running too. Like, it's very freakish that the current's not running at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not normal, so it's generally ripping, and those fads are nearly getting sucked under, right? So in that case, the line off the fad's going to go down. It's going to run north because its current has run south, and that the hot spot's normally about 60 to 80 metres up from the fad. So you need to start up about maybe 100 metres up the fad, and do one drift down the inside, one drift nearly hitting the fad, and one drift down the other side, and try and find out where the fish are. Then once a few boats turn up, they might dissipate out a little bit, like Stewie's saying, 200 metres away or 300 metres away, and either find them on the sounder or do a bit of troll around or whatever till you find them again, and then have a crack. But they move around. But if the current's running, they're never much on the back side of the fad. They're always on the upside of the fad. Once you go past the fad, you hardly get a bite on your plastic or your bait or even your live bait, unless it's a random big one swimming around out there. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
The other thing, like those little bait fishy
they
type
work
plastics
well too.
work good, but we've had some pretty good success on like prawn style patterns out there. So don't ask me why, don't know. But
Last
there
year,
might be prawns
the
out
boys
there.
smacked them on these things.
Yeah, but
That colour, that one.
that red colour in particular with those little glow eyes, I'll pass it around, but it just seemed to really work. We just rig them on like a ½ ounce head, either the minnow style or that. Let it sink down a bit, and quite erratic with your retrieve. Yeah, you're not going to let it sink to the bottom or anything, but it's going to be down a fair few metres. Yeah.
Did anyone try plastics on the fads at all? Yeah, go right? No. Okay. It's good fun.
They're pretty good if you pull up and you catch a few on pillies and they kind of go off. Have a throw with something like this, and you can start that bite all over again. So once you catch a couple on the plastics, they'll start eating pillies again.
All slugs are in.
Yeah, anything. You just got to mix it up. You
Well,
just got to
lots
get
of
them
slugs.
feeding again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Any questions on the dolphin fish at all?
So on that, you
Uh,
go find the bait, drop it back in the bait, try and find a fish in the
If
bait.
there's
Yeah.
fish on there, if there's
Yeah.
fish on there, have a crack at it. But they tend to hang. They tend to go back to the fad after the boats are dissipated, or the bait skills maybe move back over there again. They'll go back to the fad area. But a lot of marlin and a lot of dolphin fish are caught within, like not at the fad, but like 200 to maybe a kilometre away from the fad. Yeah, it's pretty popular.
Are they, do the fish go, like, fads in the triangles out here, are the fish going between them, or are they taking a rest
they
and
d-
going with the current to the next one?
They do, but they tend to be on
I could see a big
seas
one in the
probably. Seas
Well,
probably
you can go to
12,
BRA because that storm
Yeah.
came in, but
Yeah.
12 and seas. So the inside one and the outside one tend to be
Yeah,
the.
they removed the
more-
bee, no? At the moment,
yeah,
they
Stuart
removed
said
the
bee's
bee
gone,
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
was
One of
there.
them
Yeah.
was not there. Yeah.
but O3s, if they're not a triangle, O3s always got fish
Which is the one up
North.
about 8 k's or 10
on
k's
it. No,
north.
south,
Oh, south is it?
yeah.
Which is the one north?
41's
14.
north. 41's
40
north. 11 is what they, well, 11 is O3, what we call O3, but
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
got the mark 11 on it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But that's,
That's
well, I know
confusing.
from my point of view, if they're not a triangle, that's where they normally are.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they're not there, you normally find,
Uh,
you've already missed the triangle because they've been there, and
Yeah.
every other boat's been there and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, so we've had 12 netter. There's been a lot of fish, a lot of wahoo, and it'll happen again this year, happened last year, about 5 or 6 k out from there. So if you look in the distance and see some boats out a bit further, trolling, they'll be chasing wahoo, marlin and dolphin fish, because we call that 42,000 reef. So it's not so much, we don't get that reef up north of the seaway, we do get it east of the seaway. And that's another great spot to holding fish. Okay, deep trags a bit further south again on the same line. So does that make sense to you? Yeah. So
I've
have
got
a
lot
crack
of
there.
fishing, like through South Passage and off.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, is it, what, yeah.
Yeah.
What's-
Like Sevens Reef obviously for wahoo and mackerel,
Yep.
but and you get marlin and you get sailfish in that area too.
Okay.
But if I was you guys, the fads out a bit further is what you'd be chasing,
Yeah.
or the wave buoy down south a bit of
Okay.
lookout is definitely a contender. The wave buoy there holds bigger dollies than out here.
Okay.
I don't know why, but the current hooks around lookout
Yeah.
more aggressively than out here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
so try the ones out off Point Lookout, don't really
Yeah. Yeah, the ones out the front as well. No, north and look, if you're going up, say the top of the Morton and coming down,
Yeah.
there'll be fish probably on the fads there as well. But if you're going to go through South Passage, I'd be going south.
Yep.
Yeah, more than north.
I've
If
got
it-
some good-sized dollies at sevens before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, you haven't sevens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
On stick baits.
Yeah, on stick baits. So yeah. So sevens is a great reef to cast stick baits, which would. Chopping and changing.
Big
But-
bait, good GTs as well.
Yeah. So like a 140 size stick bait is about the size you use. Yeah. So 140 size stick bait. That's the sort of size if you want to have a crack at casting for dollies or wahoo, and sevens reef. If for those of you, how many people from Brisbane?
Nice.
A few there. Okay. So do you fish the sevens reef as well? Yeah. It is. Unfortunately for us, it's a 74k run. It's a long run. For you guys from South Passage, from say Manly, something's about 55, 60k.
Yeah, it's nice and close, yeah.
Yeah, it's closer than us. Yeah, by about 20k. So I would be just concentrating for the next 2 months at that sevens reef.
Yeah.
It is the spot, and you can go down to the wave buoy and just work in that area. Yeah.
Lots of mac tuna there at the moment.
Oh, there. Yeah.
Just
So when
annoying
the
amount of mac tuna.
are they big ones as well? Yeah. No. Okay. Okay. If you get those big mac tuna, they feel like a marlin for about half an hour. But
Well, yeah, for the start of it, yeah.
yeah, start of it. Yeah. So poppers wise, again, like fairly decent size. So with that, we're sort of casting not that Rob Stewie had before, but we went all down the stairs, but like a P3 to about P6, P4 and 6 is better. 7 foot 4 to about 8 foot in the rod. Real size about 8,000, 6 at the minimum.
Yeah.
8 to 10 or 14 is probably the go.
What's those marks of? Sorry, I'm not from here, so
Yep.
I don't know too much. But what's the pollen or things we see on surface when we're out there? And which make the site pretty dirty. And I think, is that something we can troll
As in,
along?
yeah. So when you get, so good question. Yeah. So
You don't pull anything?
yeah. So Dylan's asking about current lines. So current lines are really important. And you will get. You can be out there and it's like a glass out day, right? Like no wind, 2 knots, 3 knots, 5 knots, and then you'll look in the distance, particularly to the north. That's where it comes from, and there'll be white caps. That'll be a bit rough. You think, oh, must be wind change coming, but it's a current change. It's a current. So it'll be like no current. The next minute's like 3 knots or 4 knots, and actually, whoomp, it hits you. And with that is warm water, bait, and generally fish. And then that'll sort of push in and it'll push the water, it'll come in as well, because it comes around Point Lookout, and we're in a bit of a bay here, so between Point Lookout and Tweeds, this bay that's probably about 8 k's deep or 10 k's deep, and that'll put that 10 k's and further out, it's like a straight current if it's ripping, and it'll actually push in to the west, and you get the dirty line versus the green versus the real blue stuff or purple stuff. And along that, you just zigzag that. So we talked about zigzag and the depth, but when you get a current line, zigzag the current line in and out of the dirty water, clean water, dirty water, clean water.
What about coral spawn?
Coral spawn's the same too. So coral spawn generally, it does sometimes just, on calmy, balmy days, it'll just be in patches. Look,
I had lines of it on Saturday.
yeah, lines of it, was it?
On the 18th.
Yeah, right.
I actually trolled it, but didn't
Yeah.
see anything.
Yeah. So sometimes if it's got a little bit of paraphernalia like seaweed and whatever float with it. Oh, just, yeah, no, you won't get much.
Okay.
No. Sometimes the bait fish, I have had
Yeah,
bait
there
fish
was
in high
nothing.
year.
I
Yeah.
zigzagged through the 24s one,
Yeah.
and I went in closer, found the 18th
Mm.
one. I did the same thing again, and it was also in on Mermaid and Palmy.
Yeah,
There
right.
was a line on Mermaid and Palmy, and
Yeah,
there wasn't any bait on
yeah.
there. But
Coral spawning close has never done much for me, but out wider it has sometimes, yeah.
What about water temperature? Are you trying to find water temperature?
Yeah,
changes
so
or is
look,
it-
you are, but it's like it's not as important as you think it is, if that makes sense. If it's 26 degrees, you know, on the 24 fathoms, it's generally maybe 26.8 on the 50 fathoms. There's not much of a big break change, not like 22 and then 27 sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if you found that, that'd be good to work. But generally speaking, it's not the case. It's sort of, when it's in, it's everywhere,
Yeah.
the same.
Current lines are going to be
It's just the way, because when the bay hits, it's the way it is, sort of. Sorry, mate.
current lines are going to be more prominent.
More prominent wherever out wider. But we do get current lines in closer too, but it's generally, sometimes you get reverse current, it'll go north, like it was a couple of Saturdays ago, it was running north,
Yeah, right.
yeah. But when we get a reverse current running uphill, the fishing's generally shit, terrible, terrible. It's quiet. So in that case, go out further, keep going east, okay? Yeah. Okay. When you're trawling too, guys, only time you trawl east-west in one direction is if you were coming back home and you just wanted to burn some time up and maybe find something on the way, and you look at the bottom while you're doing it. But try and trawl zigzag, as I said earlier, or run south all the time. Yeah, and as well as that, you upset people because they're always going that way, and you're just cutting straight across. Not good. Okay.
how far would you start, Dougie? Like if you're tomorrow morning, you're heading down the seaway, and
Yep.
you're going to go, trolling. How far up? Do you go off the pin or?
Look, if I was going tomorrow morning, and I try and we have the luxury of hearing a lot of reports every day.
Yeah.
So
I have
and
that
at the
luxury as
moment,
well, I suppose.
you probably do as well. Because the young fellow works on the charter boats. I'd probably go straight up to the pin in about 35 to 50 metres or 52
Yeah,
metres.
just troll that line down.
Troll that area and try and find a current line, like we said earlier, or try and find bait or whatever, or birds,
Okay.
and that area, and go just north of the pin, maybe about 5 or 8 k north of the pin, which we call Sullies, and further up
Yeah.
from Sullies.
So how far
And
down would you troll if you
I
started
troll
at the
down to
pin?
to Cotton Reef,
Okay.
which is off the water tower of
Yep.
Korean Cove.
That's great, yeah.
Sorry, so
Yep.
just to rehash on something, you said always zigzag north-south, did you?
South, north down to south. That's correct. Because
Right.
predominantly most of the time the current's trickling south.
Right.
But at the moment for some reason it's not. There's just nothing much at all.
So everybody else will be trolling east-west?
At the moment they're trawling all over the joint because there's no set pattern on the current.
Right.
But looking at the windy at the moment, every day now it picks up like about 0.3 of a knot, and by Sunday it's doing about 1.6.
Right.
So they say.
So is that good for us? Though? Do we
Oh, it's very good for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the current, so they got to work hard on the current and they get more hungry.
Yeah.
At the moment, they've got the luxury of just go and eat something and sit there and don't waste any energy.
Yeah.
So they're just like us. We're running,
Yeah, cool.
working hard during the day, we'll eat at night. Yeah, same deal. Yeah. Okay. So dolphin fish spads, we've done that, Stewie. Next thing's going to be probably wahoo. Any more questions on the dolphin fish? Yes. Oh, sorry, you're going to ask before, mate.
The size of the skirts.
Yeah, good question. Look, and same for the marlin. At the moment, they're eating the little ones. There's a lot of little pillies around, so you try and keep it with what's happening. If there's all big slimies around, I'd be trolling 8-inch skirts. You know, if they're at the moment 5 to 6 inches, perfect. So, don't bring a little fat boy up. Yeah, I'll pass this around this size.
You said 5 to 6 inches.
Yep, that's correct. So that green one that went around before, which is the fat boy or the pakula, in that sort, that's about as big as you want at the moment. But in saying that, we've been selling a lot of 8-inch skirts to guys that catch fish on them as well. So I think with skirts, if
What
you get
head?
colours more important than size.
What about the
sometimes.
head? Like, it's obviously different
Yeah.
style.
Yeah,
head.
so longer heads longer back, shorter heads closer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Short,
So-
close, long.
The different heads aren't going to necessarily catch more fish. It's where you put them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it'll give you that bubble differently, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
But we always get, we do it that way, and we try and tell you guys to do it that way, but then we get customers that come in that show us the photos of the marlin, and I'll say what lure you're using, and they'll be using a pink one 5 minutes behind the boat with a long head on it.
That's the thing, like what you're saying is
On
Totally
paper,
off.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
totally different to what Lachlan's got to do.
Yeah, that's right, and that's
And
right.
they're hook and fish and.
Yeah, if
I've
it's
seen
working
Lachlan
for
where I
you,
put them,
yeah,
and that colour right there, and
yeah,
you'll go and put that colour right out there.
yeah, I know. If it's working for you, stick with it, stick with it.
Little ones with the steel heads, you put them
Yeah.
further back.
You're correct, mate. Yeah, jet heads and that run right back at the
Yeah.
back. Yep, correct. So metal heads are really good too. We can talk about that tonight. The best thing about metal heads is you can be blown 20 knots and they still hang in there and work well. And they work well in no wind. No, popping out of water is good, particularly when it's calm, because it makes it look something visual in the water.
Same speed though? Like if
Same
you put the
speed.
metal heads-
Look, if you're going to go Pacific for wahoo, which we're going to talk about now, I'd be ramping it up to 7 to 8 knots, even 10 knots. And if you do it properly for wahoo, 12 knots. Yeah, if you want to do it fast.
You don't get wahoo doing 6 knots?
Yeah, you do.
You
You do, yeah. That's the strange part. But if you want to go chase on wahoo properly, you up the antes to something like that. Big metal head. It's run on wire. We're running a lot stronger and bigger hook, like that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
And we're running it on 50-pound line because it's going to, the impact at 10 or 12 knots is quite aggressive. It'll just snap 30-pound line easy.
Yeah,
You
make
got-
sure you go for rollers too.
And good rolls. Exactly. We had a customer the other day snap his plastic line, lost his outfit. What did he break? What was it?
No, something
Speed,
good. Yeah.
Speedmaster. And it was like $1,000 combo.
Just with the rigs again, so that one that you showed us here.
Yes.
So if we were to run, say, trolling with mono,
Yes.
would you run the mono with that 4 to 6 metre leader to this, or is that?
No, you did. No, you need that. That's only short.
Yeah.
So you run a 4 to 6 meters still.
So you
It-
run mono to however metres.
Yeah,
you
so
want,
just-
swivel 4 to
yep.
6 metres leader, and then you snap swivel to snap clip to that.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. So no snap swivel at the top. It's just one
Yep.
snap swivel. So just do a little double, and then most of like your wind on leaders, for example, have a little loop on the end. You loop to loop, cat's paw, whatever it may be,
Yep.
and then run your length of the leader 4 to 6 meters. As I was saying before, if you can get a couple of winds on the reel, the fish is out there, you can manhandle it to the boat and
Yep.
gaff it, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, because if you grab 30-pound line, break, you don't realise how strong they are. You are.
Yep.
Besides cutting your hand, it'll break in your hand quite easy
Yep.
when the fish runs. If you try to hang onto it, and it'll either break, it'll probably break. Yep.
Sweet. Thank you.
Okay. Wahoo. We'll get to the wahoo now. So Wahoo, the two ways of doing it. One way is just trolling all deep divers. Okay, you troll like 4 deep divers out the back, and it's as if you just want to specifically chase Wahoo, and running at about 7 to 8 knots, running back a little bit from the boat, whether it be 30, 50, 70 and 90 metres or 80 metres. When we're running skirts, these bigger skirts for Wahoo, we might run something like that. Metal head, big jet head. That would be the one right at the back, and that might be 80 metres back or 100 metres back, because you're doing quite fast speed, 10 or 12 knots. 22 k's an hour, like that sort of speed. 18 to 22. Sorry? On the plane, you're pretty well on the plane, that's right. Depends what boat you got. These fellas here run these in shorter, and you've got to run those on 50, those ones. You can run that on 30, because it's not as much as a shock impact on that size lure, but that one you got to run on 50. Otherwise you break your break off when you hook up.
Is 80 too heavy?
80's fine, 80's fine, yeah, fine. Your hook rig's got to be a lot heavier wire and a lot heavier hook, so it doesn't bend out when they hit. That wire's 400 pound, the hook's a proper 7691S, quite strong. And then we run a short wire leader. You could run the wire leader right through actually if you want, and just put the hook on the end. But you'll need to crimp it up higher so it's down low in the skirt. So you want the hook to be, so this crimp one sitting about there sort of thing. So the eye of the hook's just inside the skirt. Okay. And set your drag a lot stronger. So a lot of guys will have what they think is right, but as soon as they get up on the plane or get up doing that 10 or 12 knots, all of a sudden just start running out. Your lines just start running out because there's so much drag. And then you've got to remember, if you've got your line back 100 metres, say the little one right at the back, and you're doing 12 knots, say, or 10 knots, by the time you get the strike and slow down to 4 knots or 3 knots, you've just dumped about another 200 metres out in that time. So the fish is a long way at the back. And then you've got sharks, you've got everywhere else to contend with. So you have to have that drag set fairly tight. So tight enough that you're not going to break your line when it hits, but tight enough to stop him from pulling off that 200 metres of line till you slow down. You need to actually pull him along a bit. Does that make sense? But don't have it too tight, you'll actually rip his dentures out, or you'll break your line maybe, or whatever.
So the guys
You've got to get the
that are
happy
catching
medium type thing. Sorry, mate.
The guys that are catching them now, like they're obviously just trolling for marlin and or for anything right now, I suppose, is the situation.
Probably half and half. There are guys that are just chasing wahoo out there.
Okay.
That do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And some guys do it at 20 knots, 18 knots. Fast.
Yep.
On 50 to 80 pound.
So look at the charter boys, they're all chasing whatever.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, so but
Yeah.
they're getting marlin, they're getting marmy, they're getting wahoo, like striped tuna. Or
That's
whatever.
right. So yeah, the other half are just catching as bycatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 6 knots. Yeah, but when you get onto wahoo, there's the thing I would really suggest you guys really keep an eye out for anything floating over the next 3 months. So it means like a piece of wood or a bucket or whatever it might be, piece of fern, whatever, in the waters, particularly if you're outside of 60 metres, 65 metres deep. That will be the holy grail of Wahoo City, Dolphin Fish City. Yeah, so you just chuck out any of this and you're going to get smacked badly. And just drift south with it. Sorry, mate.
They just hang around floating bits of crap.
Because the little fish hang around it. So and for them, it's, it might have started up at Gladstone, and a few boats that hit it on the way through, coming down, but it keeps going south at 3 knots, and as it gets back down to here, it's got a flotilla, and by the time it gets down, also Southwest Rocks or something, those guys just smash it. You see them on Facebook with all these big dolphin fish, whatever. But off here, we're fairly lucky too, because it's generally been in the water a fair long time. We've stuck it 2 or 3 times in my lifetime, but one was a piece of timber about the size of that desk there, and it was a calm day too, luckily, and we just pulled up to it, and within about 200 metres of it, that was just glistening like a Christmas tree, and we drifted with the current was ripping that day. We drifted from about off Q1 to about probably east of Windara Banks. Didn't realise I could have fuel. And we just had the best time. we just caught enough to to keep. Then we're just catching big dollies and throwing them back and throwing them back and throwing them back, and wahoo and everything.
Is that because it provides shade and the bait fish
Provides shade. The bait fish get around and get those little triple tails and whatever else around it, and then you'll get like little kingies and little dolphin fish around it, and then the bigger fish come in and feed on them, and it just becomes like a buffet. A buffet for fish. Yeah, it's a system. That's right, like, yeah. Another time we found we actually thought it was a periscope. We were drifting bottom fishing for pearlies in about 120 metres, and we saw this thing in the distance going along like this. Yeah, we thought it was a submarine. and we go, what the hell's that? You know. So we wound our gear up and went over to it, and we didn't know quite what it was. We didn't get close enough to it. And I just chucked some pillies in the water as you do, and next minute it was gold and everything was in the water. And again, that time we had a fat time as well. We drifted with it for quite a while. And then at the end, we finally went and had a look at it. So don't go up to it straight away because you're scared if you go away a bit, right? Work your way to it. At the end, when we had enough and we're done, we were actually totaled. We went over to it, and it was just a piece of bamboo. But when I looked down, it was crystal clear. It was probably about 6 or 8 metres long. But it was only out of water. It would come up like 1.5 metres out of water, then it'd go about that much out of water. But below it was just alive. And just one piece of bamboo. So that's the sort of thing you gotta look for. Okay? And yeah, that's really good. Yeah, okay. So you control hard bodies or you control skirts, and that's your two alternatives. The hard bodies, though, you can't really go much above 8 to 10 knots. There are some lures from Rapala and probably pacemakers, maybe I'll get up to.
You run them at around about 10
knots.
10 or
What do
12.
you get for those, Joe?
The pacemakers are about
6 to 8 metres.
6 to 8 metres.
And
These
how
fellas
far
about.
back they run it?
You can't
Fair
run.
way.
Yeah, maybe 30, 40 metres.
Yeah.
These little fellows here, they might drop those back about 6 to 80. But they'll get down about only about 2 or 3 metres, but they'll troll up to about 12 to 14 knots, I think. They go good, yeah, they're good.
And you get mackerel in them as well?
They say up to 20 knots here, but I've had them up to about 12, 14. Oh, you get mackerel knots too, yeah. I can't sit around. They're quite expensive.
Standard
But
hooks from those, standard trebles.
yeah, so they're not too bad. The best hooks by far are like, you know, some of you, like Shintos and like BKK style.
Singles or trebles?
No, so that's a good question too. The new Helco, we had a couple of guys getting wahoo on these. We've only had them in the last couple of months. They're single hooks, and guys have been catching wahoo on those and trolled them at about 8 to 10 knots. They do say up to 12 knots, but you can run it a bit faster than normal. And they get down about a good solid 8 metres. Yeah.
I was catching striped tuna I had a hard body out the other day, but I had to keep it on my shorts.
Yes.
Because as soon as I let it back 15 metres, it just was grabbing.
Yeah, right,
It was only
yeah.
like 3 metre, 4 metre diver.
That's
so
right.
I just brought it back into my short.
Yeah.
I only had it back not even 10 metres on the boat.
Still get fish though. Yeah. So that's a good point, guys. With Michael just brought up on deep divers, they all seem to have their happy medium distance from the boat. You get out too far and they start to do this sort of thing, or they'll go across the pattern or whatever it might be. But if they sit back, like he said, just how far back?
About
Mike?
10 metres
10
back.
metres back, and
Sort of
they're
on
sitting there
that
nice.
third wave.
That's where it lives. Okay.
Yeah, nomad,
Yeah.
you can't run nomads, I find, in the short corner.
Yeah, they
Always seem to
pop out.
Yeah,
They
so
pop out.
I had
So
to run
opposite.
short corner, I had
Yeah.
no choice.
Yeah.
Because it was just as soon as I went back 15 metres, it just started doing crazy crap.
Yeah.
Do you use wire on them, or is it just straight?
Look, I take it. We both run monos on
Yeah.
it and take the chance.
Yeah.
I might lose a few a year in a season, but
If you are going to run
fish.
wire on any of this stuff, try to use single strand.
yeah.
Very short. You only have to have enough for it to be like in its throat to its mouth type of thing. So it's only 8 inches type of thing. And the thin wire doesn't hinder the action too much.
Yeah, Helco do a new little short wire trace, and it's an absolute beauty. It's like 105 pounds, and it's got a quick clip system on it, and it works really good. Haven't had any straighten out or whatever. So to do a good haywire twist, so you need to learn to do a haywire twist. Yeah.
And colours for the hard bodies?
Look, same deal again. Purple's enclosed, lighter at the back. Same scenario. Yeah, but wahoo tend to love purple and black.
Okay.
They love it. Yeah. Like this. This is actually a really good colour. This is a new colour. Actually, it's like a dark reddy purple type. What's it called? colour 1285. That's another one of the speed ones in the flying fish. That's a great colour as well. Okay. And there's some great colours too in those some pacemakers. That's their new wahoo, purple wahoo, I think it's called. It's a great colour. Yeah, well, catches us. We're lucky. Yeah. Okay, I think that's nearly about it on the wahoo. Oh, just one thing too. If you do get those fads in that scenario, and there's dolphin fish and wahoo and whatever else there, little yellowfin, whatever, just have, if you've got a spin rod in the boat, chuck stick baits at it as well. You'll get them catching trolling as well, obviously. But if you've got a little casting outfit, it's such fun. You know, we get them on plastics. After you got your esky full, we just have fun then. We just switch and try new things. Exactly right, and just switch. Of course, you got the luxury of still drifting with the whatever's in the water. You just experiment. It's really good.
Would you say like what you said for everything for the wahoo would be similar to when you chase for Spanish?
Nope.
No. That was a very quick answer.
For the Spanish, like, yeah, look, I guess on the hard bodies it's similar, but we don't go as fast, maybe 6 to 7 knots.
Dialed back a bit, yeah.
Yeah,
A little bit smaller, like if you are going to run that skirted type style profile, it's a lot shorter, a lot smaller, lighter line.
So, with Spanish mackerel too, like a lot of the time, I try and fight my fish around my lures. I try and leave them out because I'm always travelling forward. Yeah. And the amount of Spanish I've caught doing 2 knots with the deep diver just swimming is ridiculous.
Or even when you pull up to wind in.
Yeah, same deal again, mate. Exactly right. Yeah. So it's a very reverse thing to wahoo. I've never caught a wahoo going slow, that slow sort of thing. So they like speed. They like, I don't know what they like, presentation maybe. Yeah. So just change the speed down. As Stewie said. Skirts. Look, I do use a lot of hex heads and screamers, particularly for wahoo. That style or this style of thing. I'll pass this around too because I want to use how big they are. That one and that one, that's the 2 sizes that work well. And your trawling those at like 22 k's an hour, whatever, or 10 or 12 knots. And they'll work really well, but if you slow down, you just don't seem to catch fish on them. And it could be anything, Spanish or dolphin fish or marlin. They just seem to work really well fast. You see ever seen the guys chasing spotties down at Palmy, doing like 16 knots on the plane? Their line's way out the back. I don't know how they do it amongst all the boats. But they're trolling a little tiny pink thing, but it's big. Generally with a resin head or a metal head, and a single 4.0 or 5.0 hook in it, on a little bit of single string wire, as Stewie said, short. And they put 2 or 3 of them out. I'll run them down low as well, on quite heavy rods, because when they hit at that speed, it's quite aggressive, like I was saying. And they smash the spotties and Spanish too, on this little tiny little pink one. So if you want to have a crack at doing something like that, just downsize the wahoo scenario to little ones, and catch Spanish and spotties that way. It only works at Palmy, Mermaid and Gravel Patch. I've never had luck off the seaway doing that. We catch a lot of mackerel at the seaway, but not the technique they use down there, but it works down there.
These here, Dougie, they're in our bags.
Yes.
Where are they best for?
Okay, so those I'd run out the back.
For anything?
Anything, but definitely for wahoo. They're really good wahoo lures. Yeah, but they'll definitely work for dolphin fish and even marlin as well. And they're a great lure to have if you get a windy day and these little light lures are getting blown across the spread. Just drop those out. They'll keep it in there nice and track, nice and straight, and still catch fish. Yep.
Trolling boards.
Trolling. So like different. We use those for like definitely for like school mackerel and spotted mackerel in the bay and that.
Yeah.
But down here we tend to use more downriggers. Yeah. But you don't use lures so much on downriggers because it just sort of they keep pulling out of the clip or they keep breaking rubber bands because there's a lot of pressure. The guys use it for snapper, of course, but look, I guess if you run a shallow bib lure like a barra type lure, or a flatty type lure, on a downrigger at 2 to 3 knots, it probably would work down deep. Well, you've got those new big Shimano ones, those Stewie. Those shallow ones. There's a new one
The
from
ones
Shimano.
with the slicker through them.
Some of them do, yeah.
Some of them do, but
Assassins.
this one's actually more like a big pill. It's absolutely, it's down in the game section. It's absolute beauty. If you run something like that, it would sort of do this sort of thing through the water on the downrigger. It'll work as well. Does anyone here use downriggers at all? No. Okay, that's another one. We do that. We do it with our mackerel
The cheaper
seminar.
version with the
Yeah, it's a 2 8-ounce barrel sinkers. I do that too. Don't worry. Yeah, that works all right. But yeah, no, we don't use parabens much. But up North Queensland, everyone uses parabens on mackerel. And but they're using like sash cord and more primitive type stuff. Like, I don't know what it is down here, but the mackerel are educated. I think by the time they leave Cairns, the time they get here, they've worked out how the fishermen fish. And it's in saying that, we get yachties that come in here and they'll buy a Smith's jig or a spoon, and we got the handles out of the rope and all that wire and crap on it. And I forget it, the yachties, they'll come in, I sold it to a few months earlier, or season before, and then they'll tell me, show me pictures of marlin they caught. And I said, how'd you catch it? I caught it on the trolling rig again. I go, which trolling rig? It's a big handline one. I go, what sort of lure do you have on there? Oh, Smith's jig or whatever. Just a spoon with a hook in it, you know. And here we're using all this stuff and trying to catch one. It's just
Yeah, they had to go like 3,000 kilometres.
yeah, that's right. Here they get outside the seaway. The other thing too is we get a lot of people that come in and we'll sell them some really nice lures, you know, rig them all up for them, and they'll buy a couple of the cheaper Williamson, which work really well, by the way, after this work they do, and they'll come back and they'll again show me the photos of the marlin or the wahoo they call, or the dolphin fish, whatever. And so I'm going to go that weekend. I'm trying to suss out what colour. So I'll go, I remember selling you that one and that one. Which one was it that you got the fish on? And they go, no, I can't see it here. And then the cheaper section, oh, that one there. I'm going, you got the marlin on that one. It's supposed to throw the other ones out. They go, oh, we'll see, I'll just throw it out, you know. So it's really random. And I think if a fish is a lone fish and not schooled up, if you got your line in the water at the right spot at the right time, it's going to take it.
Yeah, never underestimate.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
There were,
yeah.
40 boats at Palming on Sunday. I had an almost dead livey on there, and it bit my line.
Yeah, grab your line, yeah. Well, live bait's another scenario, and I was going to cover that really quickly just for a couple of minutes. If you're going to use live baits, because live baits for marlin is another thing that's really good, and we don't have time to do a live bait marlin seminar. Maybe in March when they come on, or late February. But is there a live baiter for marlin at all? It works really well. So what you need is some circle hooks. I'll pass these around. A bait needle, okay, so it'll open end on it, and some bait jigs. I don't know what type they are, and some rubber bands. Size 16 again. So, and what we do is we'll go out, say, to spot X or wherever it may be, 36 fathoms, doesn't matter whether the bait's schooled up. And if there's marlin on there, the marlin will be schooled up like the pilchards. It can be 300 marlin on the bait school when they're on. And you'll see the guys at the game club might be out there on a weekend, there might be 10 boats that really know what they're doing, and they'll get 15 bites or 20 bites on marlin for the morning just out in front of you. So as long as you've got a little bait needle and the bait jigs and some big ball sinkers, and how we rig it up is, I've got one of the rigs here but they're downstairs, but oops. Just the last thing for the night. So when we rig up our marlin live bait rigs, we crimp about that size loop on the end of the 80-pound leader, if it may be. And then this is only about a metre long, so keeping everything like I was saying before, about a metre long, so you can manhandle it right close to the boat. And wind up close to the boat. And then we've got crimped on there just a circle hook sort of thing, okay? And what we do with the live bait, this is a live bait here. This is eye there, whatever, it's a bit of a bad one. But what we'll do is we'll get the live bait and we'll stick the bait needle through his nostril sort of area there and pull the bait needle through, and on the bait needle attached on here is a rubber band, okay? So rubber band's attached on there, we stick it through and we pull it out the other side, and then we put the rubber band onto the hook, put one onto the hook, and then we twist it around, and then we put the other one on the hook. Does that make sense? It's sort of like it's locked on there. So forget about this part for a sec. Well, it'll look like it'll be pretty tight. Might actually be a bit away. And here's a bit of crunched up rubber band, and this is a circle hook, sort of thing. And it sits on there like that, and it's 99% hookup rate. So what you do is the sinker's sitting on here, and your snap swivel goes through the top of the loop there. Okay. And if the sinker's not heavy enough, you just unsnap it and put a bigger sinker on that loop, and then snap it back on again. So you work out the current, the drift, everything. The bait's sitting out at say 80 metres deep, and the bait's sitting at 60 metres deep. You drop it down 60 metres deep, and then you put your reel into free spool with the ratchet on, or just a tiny bit of drag so it's not pulling the line out. And then you just sit in the rod holder and you just wait. And you drift through the bait, and then you'll just hear it go ring, ring, and as it's going, you just pick it up out of the rod holder. It's still in free spool, remember? And then just put the rod on the right angle, put your rock bucket. You got plenty of time. It's still doing its thing, just running. And then you just push the lever up. You don't actually strike or anything. And that circle hook will do its job and hook in, and you never miss. And then just play it in, and that's what they do out there. And there'll be like 4 or 5 boats in the size of this room nearly on each other. The next minute you see a fish jumping in, and the guy goes, "I'm on. Can you move it away?" And it's like boats just there in front of you, you know. The fish
Sometimes
are
it's
jumping.
not that friendly, but yeah.
Yeah, not that friendly. Yeah. Anyhow, but that's how you do it.
Just like that.
Just like that. I'm serious. So easy. I think we got a show on iFish with Paul Worsley I did a few years ago, and you can just watch how we do it, and it's exactly how we do it. And it's like that. Yeah, I'll pass the bait needle around. Size 16 rubber band. Oh, Stewie's actually got, here we go. Stewie's got Exhibit A here. So he's put the rubber band through the fish's head. That's it. It's just like that.
I saw it done on a fishing charter. He used the livey for 2 hours, then pulled the band back out, and it was good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, very humane.
Empty cavity there or whatever. Yeah.
Well, that
Just
heals
nose
up.
piercing.
Heals up.
Yeah.
Got to be nice to people watching.
Can you only do that with marlin? Could you set up that?
No, you can do it for cobia. We do it for cobia as well.
Dollies.
And we use it for mackerel as well,
Spanish?
but with wire.
Do you slow troll in Spanish? Or
Yeah.
Spanish is better to hit them and have that stinger ring.
Yeah.
Only because it's generally one tap.
Yeah, upstream from a fad, chuck that in.
Yeah, it works for dollies really good. Yeah, real good. Yeah. So all you need is bait jigs, leader, 60 to 80 pound leader. 60 pound fluorocarbon is really good. 80 pound mono. A range of sinkers from about 1 ounce to about 3 or 4 or 5 ounce. And had that loop fairly long on the end like you saw. And then just clip it on. And just drop it down to, don't drop it at the bottom, just drop it down to where the bait is. Yeah. Any questions on that at all? Good, just like that. Exactly. I think we covered nearly everything, guys. I think I missed. Oh, crimping. Oh, sorry. Crimping. When you go to crimp, it crimps. Does anyone do their own crimping? You should all learn to do it. You should all have a packet of crimping pliers. You can buy them for like $25 or something like that with your price. In your kit, and a few crimps. Packet of crimps, $10, and some mono. So if you get snapped off on here, or you got some skirts that need to be changed over to a whatever, you can quickly do whatever you want to do. You can make up a rig like that, lively rig. You know, you can do whatever you want. Have that in the boat, little kit, just a pair of pliers and whatever, crimps. But when you crimp it, when you do a crimp, and Stewie does lots of crimping, but he'll tell you how to crimp the crimp. Stewie, how do you crimp it, mate?
Well, the biggest thing is it depends on what you crimp it. So if you crimp it in mono, we generally use the aluminium crimp for a start. Can use copper doubles and stuff like that. Aluminium's the way to go. But the biggest thing is that E-lock, well, they're not round. They're like an oval shape. You actually need to crimp. That one going around, you'll see on the end, but
the lines go through here, mate. Like 2 lots of line.
Yeah. So we'll crimp it. A lot of a lot of guys crimp it this way. You need to crimp it this way.
Crimp the lines, squish the lines.
Yeah, so it's vertical.
Yeah.
And
I'll
the
pass this around, but just watch out for that.
And the second thing is start about 1 mil in or half a mil in from the ends.
Biggest thing is if you crimp it right on the very ends, it actually folds the crimp around and it cuts the line.
It cuts into the line.
Yeah.
So
Whereas the way that we do it, it flares out, it kind of mushrooms it.
flange. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this will end up becoming down like this sort of thing.
Yeah. With wire, it doesn't matter. Crimp right to the ends.
Then it's just heat shrink over it too, isn't it?
Yeah, not with your mono stuff, but with wire, yeah, heat shrink over it and make it look all pretty. Do you need it? Probably not, but it looks a lot nicer. You can tell if you get a bite, you can kind of determine a little bit more from it as well. So,
And at what point do you use a little bit of tube?
always on your mono loops
On the top.
and on the hook end. So any loop that you do with mono, you should have a chafe protector over it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But not on the wire. You don't need it in the wire.
Yeah,
Yeah. Any questions on that at all? Okay, we've done all this sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Can we get some spotted mackerel advice for us hopeless people?
So we're doing a mackerel seminar next Tuesday night. We're going to squeeze it in. Only reason being because it's closed between the 1st and the 21st of Feb. So, because by now we've normally done 2 mackerel seminars by now, but they're not here yet. Well, they're slow. So we've left it as late as we can. But I'm going away for a couple of weeks, so we decided to do it. I go away Wednesday next week. So Tuesday night we're going to do it before I go away on the Wednesday, and then hopefully they'll be on in the 2 weeks before the closure. But I believe they'll start in about 2 weeks' time in fairly good numbers. There's a few getting caught at the front end now, Spanish. Guys just randomly snap a fish and getting them by luck, and other guys doing it properly, getting them, Yeah, float linings. A couple of guys get them float lining, hooked in the corner mouth. But yeah, so we're doing that thing. But is there any deal on spotted mackerel? As we were saying, some guys were saying earlier, Brian was saying, and I was saying up in the bay they're coming down, but spotty's always a bit later on this year.
Generally.
Like we can get them right through to June, But I think this year they're going to be pretty thick around sort of late March to about probably May. My thinking. And Spanish will probably start. Well, they started now, but they'll probably come in numbers later the month.
When we got the closure.
When the closure starts. Yeah, I know. That's right. So, anyhow, but with spotties, mate, you just got to. It's just a matter of learning to float line, trolling pillies on those like reaper rigs are really good. And when they're later in the season, they school up in monster schools, football field size, and you just cast slugs in and have a fat time. Yeah. So she up jumping pin line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that also inside Moreton Bay?
Yeah, Moreton Bay the same too. So they come through in patches. They'll be trillion in a school, and you guys will get them at the top end of the bay first. Then you'll get them maybe outside of Moreton or down the bottom end, sort of south of Lookout.
Yep.
And then they'll rock up out front here. They're the same school. And then there'll be nothing for a week or two, get a couple of fish here and there. And then all of a sudden they'll start catch them and next week they'll be out of Mermaid,
Do the Moreton Bay, do the Moreton Bay ones, do they go back out the top?
Look, do they go to the bottom or the top? That's a really good question, Brian. And I haven't been able to answer that properly yet.
One Southern Bay, like
Yeah.
odd one, but not targeted them.
I think they go through the South Passage of it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You get them at like West Peel and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh,
Up
we-
through
mate,
that channel
when
there, definitely.
we used to have a bit bigger boat. We used to stay up at Shark Spit or the sand hills there,
Yeah.
and the beacons out front of the sand hills there. We used to go to the tinny in the morning with the boys, and there would just be early before anyone else got there. There'd just be football field size. They're everywhere. You don't know which way to cast, and they're the same ones that come down here a couple of weeks later. Yeah, and they come through.
That big square in the Southern Bay is in a really annoying spot. That square on that sharp.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, we sort of Harvey Bay, and then it's probably Noosa. Then off the Caloundra, they get them out there as well, and then it'll be the top off Redcliffe sort of or Bribey area, and then the bottom of the bay, and then they're down here, and that's their progression in schools for a few months. But for some reason, they then They go right down to like Southwest Rocks, but there seems to be a patch that stays always off the pin.
Yeah.
And they must have a lot of food there or something. And they don't change. They stay there for about the last month or so, and that's when they massively school up. You'd be driving through the green zone from Kurrajee, and they're just all the way to, you get out the green zone at the pin bar. All the way, you just got to put your hands, cable tie your hands together when you're driving through it all. we got that. So get that fishing app, Fishing 2.0. You know that one?
So you got to open it though.
You got to open it, and yeah, got to open it. And you can see and it doesn't work on data, works on satellite, but you can see where you are in the green zone anytime. Even if you've got no data, it still shows you where you are. So it works on the satellite. So I like your Navionics app. And yeah, so we'll be going along and we've got to be out of the green zone now. She's got the rod, I've got the rod ready to go over. Yeah, let me check the phone. Oh shit, we've still got 400 metres to go. Come in further. You're driving past all these fish.
There's another good one too, marine parks, same thing.
Yeah, marine parks, right, it's good, yeah.
Go out in the green, you just go slow.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, you got go slow zones up there. We don't have them down here.
Yeah. All the go slow zones, you just should have seen people just flying.
Yeah, they don't know, I guess. There's no signs up saying 20 k's an hour. Oh, did you really?
They gave us that up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you got to be careful, Morton Bay, but yeah, watch out for dugongs. Hit a turtle. You hit a turtle because the paperwork's less apparently. Okay, so that's probably about it. I think anything else you want to know about at all?
2 questions, please.
Yes.
First one, when you refer in all your videos to the
East 50s, yes.
Where are you referring to?
2742 to 2743. Latitude, that is.
The second question is
153, 43 as well on the longitude.
Okay,
yeah.
Beautiful. 2743.
Yeah, it's about a mile on the ledge.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And the next question was, so when the 40 boats are down at Palmy yesterday that seem to be trolling small dead baits, are they just hoping to find the spotties?
Look, every day you've got, no, they're hoping to catch spotties in Spanish, and every day you've just got to go out and they're going to be on one day. Everyone's hoping and trying.
Right,
yeah. And
I think last Friday they were on. Oh, okay,
yeah.
last Friday?
Yeah, a couple of days there they did right.
It was just like trip. Right.
Mackerel are really weird, like they can be red hot one day and just gone the next.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
Do they go or do they stay? We don't really know. But you speak to divers down there and stuff, and sometimes they just sulk on the bottom, down in that bottom section.
Palmy's a bit of a secret squirrel thing for the first month or so. But when they're on, if there's only 40 boats down there, they're probably not really on. But when there's 100 boats, they're on. The word gets out pretty quick. Yeah.
Roger.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's about it. Anything else you want to say, Stu?
No,
that's it.
I think that's about it.
Okay, well, hopefully you guys will learn a bit, and I want to see you guys catch your first marlin. Don't get a hook in you from a dolphin fish, and land your fish. Yeah, give it a crack. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we do the draw now. So we've got about $1,500 for the gear. That rod bucket's got to go back in that first prize. First one's a bit over $500 worth of gear. There's a pack there of all those lures too. Stewie, let's do it. So you all know your seat numbers. Don't leave your seat, mate. Lucky 11. Is that you lot? Well done. Thank you. Cheers. Good luck. Okay, number 2, still about $300 worth. Stewie's going to pull this one out. Where has he gone?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.